So what's going on, guys, and welcome to what is going to be what you can call a mini series. And what it's going to be is me talking about transfers, obviously real life transfers. That's, you probably got the gist from the name of the title, which is Transfer Talk Tuesday. And every Tuesday I will be uploading an episode of this, which is basically me talking about the real transfers that have gone on and my opinion about all the players. And I'm hoping you guys will enjoy it. So we're going to start off with Raheem Sterling, the number 7 for Manchester City. That Manchester City have just paid £49 million for this youngster. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but he is no way worth 49 million. Whatever, I don't care what you guys say. I don't believe that he is worth 49 million. He's 19 years of age. Okay, he's had some really good games for Liverpool, but then he's missed lots of good chances as well. He's won them titles. I haven't liked his attitude of how he's approached, how he wants to leave the club, and I think mainly he's probably gone to City because of the money, because he's going to be paid a lot more money and he wants that fame. He's now come out and said he's sorry about basically the uproar he's caused, but in my opinion I think 49 million is too much money for what Sterling is, because Sterling in my eyes is a very good player, and I think he is a very promising player and could turn into someone great, but he still needs that maturing. He needs to be put together as that main player is what Liverpool were trying to do, but now City are going to have to take over. So we're now going to move into our second player that we're going to evaluate, which is going to be Roberto Firmino, and in my eyes I think this guy could be the underdog. I think he could be the one that is going to be the standout performer in the Barclays Premier League next season. He cost them 21.3 million from Hoffenheim, and I believe he is an extremely good player. I have played with him in FIFA as well, so in FIFA is a good player, but I've also seen a few Brazil games and he's played extremely well in them. He's skillful, he's two-footed, and he is a great centre attacking mid that I'm sure Liverpool will benefit from, and I think that is a brilliant signing from Liverpool. So now, as you can see here, we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be Peter Cech, and actually Arsenal paid 10 million for Peter Cech. Do I think Peter Cech's worth 10 million? I suppose with nowadays money, probably, but still 10 million for a goalkeeper that's Peter Cech's age is a lot of money. I know Peter Cech is a world-class goalkeeper, and he is probably going to win Arsenal around about 12 to 15 points in a season, which is a huge point advantage that Arsenal are going to gain, basically thanks to having a world-class goalkeeper in goal. But I think they might have overpaid because he is playing well at the moment, but is he going to be playing well in 2 years' time? You don't know. Can he do a Brad Friedel and go till he's 40 years old, or is he going to start dropping off in form when he gets to 35? We'll have to wait and see. But we're now going to move on to Tyrone Mings, the 8 million player that come from Ipswich, has now gone to Bournemouth. And I think this is quite a good signing, to be honest. Once again, a little bit of a hefty sum, but then every single one of this episode is hefty sums, because money, I think, in football has now become ludicrous and people are outpaying what players are worth. In them days, 49 million could have brought you Zidane. Now it's buying you Raheem Sterling. So that's just a quick comparison, basically. But Tyrone Mings, I think he's going to really improve the Bournemouth squad. And I think along with him and a few other players that Bournemouth have brought in, like the likes of Atsu that they loaned from Chelsea, I think they have got a good chance of staying up. So now we move on to Radamel Falcao, who's gone to Chelsea on loan. Obviously, I'm not sure whether this is going to be the right deal for Chelsea or the wrong deal, because as you guys previously witnessed in the previous season, Falcao didn't have a good season with Manchester United, but I think this could be due to Manchester United's playing style. They didn't really play around him. Chelsea probably won't either, but I think Chelsea are more that one-man striker, and I think Falcao can do that role expertly because he's a really good hold-up of the ball. Chelsea can pump balls up, and he's on the quick counter, and he will always find room in the penalty box. And if he gets a sighted goal, he will hit the target and make the goalkeeper work, and 9 times out of 10 will score, especially if he gets into a good run of form. So Yohan Cabaye is the next one. 13 million he cost from PSG. I think this is an absolute really good signing, to be honest, from Crystal Palace. They did extremely well to bring in Yohan Cabaye. Yohan Cabaye was actually linked to some big clubs. He was linked to even the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham. I know Sunderland were after him as well. West Ham. even I think Manchester United were even thinking about going for him. So his links to some really big clubs, and then he ended up going to Crystal Palace. And I think the reason he went there is because of Alan Pardew, because he was a recent manager that he actually left when he was at Newcastle, and I think probably he liked his playing style and probably was going to have the faith under Pardew that he was going to get lots and lots of game time, which of course is what a pretty much young centre midfielder needs. So we're now going to move on to Memphis Depay. What a fantastic signing this is from Manchester United. The youngster, a very, very good signing from PSV. And he is an extremely rapid winger who can also play up front. He's extremely skillful, and I think he will score many, many goals for Manchester United next season. A lot more than what Falcao did, obviously. And I think he will be probably one of the top goal scorers in the Barclays Premier League, because I think when he has a chance on goal, he normally takes it, and he's got a hell of a good long-range shot on him as well. Really good shot power. And I think this guy could be the one to watch along with Roberto Firmino in the Barclays Premier League next season, as I think he will probably change Manchester United around because he really does strengthen up their strike force. I think Manchester United probably do need to start looking at another striker, maybe not a full-time striker like what Depay is going to be, but I think they need someone to partner Rooney, because Rooney nowadays isn't really an all-out striker. I think Rooney plays a normal number 10 role where he sits behind the striker. He's more like a cam or a centre forward. He's not that all-out striker. So I think they need to look for someone, or maybe even bring back Javier Hernandez, because I think he was a good buy as well for them. So we're now going to move on to Robin van Persie, the former Manchester United player, and he's gone to Fenerbahce. And this really did confuse me. I thought, why on earth, without any disrespect to Turkey or the Turkish league, does Robin van Persie want to go out there? I don't think it's a nice place to live. I think it's quite rough. Obviously, it's a lot different style of football to what England is. The standards a lot worse. I'm not sure why he's gone to Fenerbahce. Obviously, this isn't a real photo, by the way. This is a picture with Robin van Persie's face stuck onto a body of someone playing in that shirt, obviously. But why has he gone there? Basically, I don't really know. The only thing I think of is money. That's the only reason why he would have gone there. He says he got a really good reception when he went, blah, blah, blah. But whether that's true or not, obviously it was true that he got a good reception. But is he going just for the money, or is he going because he actually loves the supposed club and country? You don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So now we're going to move on to Wijnaldum, or Wijnaldum, however you pronounce his name. He has recently signed for Newcastle, and he signed for 14.5 million. So he signed for quite a lot of money, which I think might actually be Newcastle's transfer record fee. It's a lot of money for a club like Newcastle, and to be honest, I don't understand why the likes of Tottenham don't go ahead and try and buy these players. They can clearly see they're good players, they're young, they got room to develop, and I think they can really turn into world-class players in the future. But clubs like Tottenham, they just don't go in for them and wait for other clubs to snap them up. So I'm not sure why Tottenham don't. I think it's our idiot of a manager. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's selling all the players that we've got, and he's decided to basically just destroy the club. But moving back onto Wijnaldum, I think that's a really good signing in their centre defence or centre mid. I think he can play cam as well. So he can play, he's a versatile centre midfielder. He's young, he can score goals from midfield, and he's obviously going to pick up a few assists as well. So as you see here, we're now going to move on to Toby Alderweireld, the Belgium centre-back. We're not actually sure. I think it's around 11 million fee they paid for Alderweireld. It's not 100% sure yet, but he is a very decent centre-back, and I think that's probably Tottenham's best signing so far since Pochettino took over, because I think he will be getting first-team football. He's a decent centre-back. He's good, strong, he's quick across the ground, and he's good in the air as well. So he's everything you need for a centre-back. I think he's better than what Kabul is. Obviously, Kabul's obviously just left to Sunderland, and I think he's also better than what Fazio is. So I think him and Vertonghen can make a fantastic partnership, along with Kieran Trippier, who's recently just come in, and Kyle Walker. So I think they can pretty much have a really strong back line now. Now we just need to work on our midfield and strike force. So now we move on to amazing signing from Manchester United, which is Bastian Schweinsteiger. They actually brought in Bastian Schweinsteiger for 14.4 million. So they brought in for quite a lot of money, to be honest. But I think this is a good deal, because 14.4 million, I know he's 30 years of age, but dearie me, he's probably one of the best centre mids in the whole world. If he's not the best, he's certainly classed as one of the best because he's versatile. He can play in that CDM. He's also played a few games at centre back. He's played at cam, and I think he can also play at striker as well, or give it a good go. Anyway, he's got really good free kick stats. He can score some long range efforts, and he's that pass king. He's going to be the player in their squad that's going to be distributing all the balls out, and especially how dangerous they're going to be when you've got two fantastic passers of the ball, him, Schneiderlin, and probably even Rooney, and then you've got players that are so quick like Memphis Depay running off of them. I think Manchester United are going to be a real danger next season. So now we move on to James Milner, who joined Liverpool for free. So he joined on a free deal because his contract ran out and he signed for Liverpool. He was recently from Manchester City, but I think that is actually a really good signing, to be honest, for Liverpool. To get James Milner, I know he's not rated that high, but to get James Milner for free, what a fantastic signing. I really do think they've done really well there to get that one, and I think he could probably bang in a few goals, and even if he's not a starting player, he's definitely a player that can bang in a few goals coming off the substitute bench. So now moving on to Morgan Schneiderlin, a very, very good signing once again from Manchester United. I think Manchester United have made three terrific signings in Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin and Memphis Depay, and I think that has really strengthened up their squad as they brought in three world-class starting 11 players. And I think Morgan Schneiderlin, he was actually wanted by Tottenham originally, then Arsenal joined the chase, and now Manchester United, and obviously Manchester United won the bid for him. And to be honest, even though I would have loved to see him at Tottenham, I think he really does suit the Manchester United role, especially in that midfield. I think he's going to be a lot better than what Fellaini is, and I think he can really distribute and strengthen up the Manchester United squad as they are building a extremely good squad for next season, along with Liverpool and probably even Arsenal, because Arsenal are looking at buying in a few players as well. So moving on now to Asmir Begovic, who recently went to Chelsea for an undisclosed fee. This, if I look at it in my eyes as a goalkeeper, I don't understand it. Because Asmir Begovic, he is a world-class goalkeeper. He's been playing regular football for Stoke every single game. And then he decides to go to Chelsea, where he's going to be in competition with Thibaut Courtois. And he's not going to be playing. He's not going to be playing week in, week out. Courtois is going to have all the Barclays Premier League games. And the only games Asmir Begovic is going to play is probably the League Cup, FA Cup, and maybe even a group stage in the Champions League if Chelsea do get qualified and they have that game where they put out the youngsters, etc, etc. So I think looking at it as a point of view from Begovic, he probably went there for the money. But he's only 27 or 28, so why is he going there for money? He's still got plenty of years left in his career. He's still got around about 10 years. I think he should have stayed at Stoke or gone to Arsenal. Instead of Arsenal signing Cech, they could have signed Begovic, and I think they probably would have benefited more in the long run. So now moving on to Danny Ings, a very, very rapid striker up front for Liverpool, who they've recently signed from Burnley for an undisclosed fee. It's still not been confirmed, so we're not 100% sure of what the amount was. But Danny Ings, I think he's probably not going to be a starting striker for Liverpool, because I think Liverpool are obviously looking at bringing in Christian Benteke as well. So Christian Benteke will probably be that starting player. So whether Danny Ings is going to be a starting player or not, he'll probably play the League Cup games, and he will be a very, very good substitute to bring off the bench. He's very young and he's got loads of room to develop, and I think Liverpool will be the vital club to help him develop, and I'm hoping he can make it into something good, as he is a promising youngster. So now once again moving on to another Manchester City player, which is the likes of Fabian Delph, who's only just signed for Manchester City for £8 million. And I don't know why he signed, to be honest, because Fabian Delph, I think he's a really good player. I think he's played really well for Aston Villa. You can understand why he left Aston Villa, because he's a good enough player to move to a better club. But a better club, whether he goes to City, is he going to play a lot of game time at City? Is he going to be playing week in, week out? We'll have to wait and see, because they've got a lot of competition in the middle. They've got Yaya Toure, Fernandinho, Fernando, Samir Nasri can play in the middle, David Silva, so that's 5. And then you've got Fabian Delph, who's just come in. Raheem Sterling can play in the middle. They've got so many centre midfielders. Is Fabian Delph going to be a starting player? I really hope he is, because he's a very, very decent player, but maybe he's going to be used as a squad rotation player. So now moving on to another player that Manchester City have just signed for 11 million, which is Patrick Roberts. And to be honest, I think this is ridiculous. 11 million for a 17-year-old who only made 2 appearances in the Championship last season for Fulham. So he made 2 appearances. Okay, he made about 17 from the substitute bench, but he only started 2 games in the Championship, and Manchester City think, oh, you know what, we'll just buy him for 11 million. And I think the reason why Manchester City are buying these English players in the likes of Sterling, Delph and Patrick Roberts is because otherwise they're going to get sanctioned, because they have to have so many players from England or English nationality, and they're starting to worry that the English youngsters are starting to get snapped up. So Manchester City, because they've got the money behind them, they're just thinking, shit, we've got to do something about it. Let's just buy in the players we got. We can use our money. Let's buy them in and do our best to try and build the squad with the English players, and then obviously we're going to stay out the limelight. So now we're going to move on to the transfer rumours. So these aren't done deals yet, but they probably will be soon. So the first one is going to be Pedro. £18 million probably is his buyout clause. So the clubs that are after him, I think Arsenal are after him. Manchester City said they might be interested. Chelsea are interested, and there was another squad as well. So Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal and Liverpool were also looking at him. Whether they want him or not, we'll have to wait and see. But Pedro, I think he's actually going to leave Barcelona because he's not that happy there. He's not getting a lot of game time because obviously, why are you when you've got Neymar, Suarez and Messi, and none of them have got any injuries throughout the season whatsoever? And then behind them, just brought in Alex Vidal from Sevilla. They've got Rakitic who can play out wide. They've just got a ton of good players at Barcelona that can easily take the spot of Pedro if he leaves, and Barcelona probably buy a replacement for him anyway. So I think he'd probably do better if he went to Arsenal, because Arsenal probably would benefit from a striker like Pedro, because Pedro can play on striker, left wing and right wing. What I'd probably do there, I'd play Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right. I played Alexis Sanchez down the middle, and I'd play Pedro on the left, or maybe play Giroud up top and play Alexis Sanchez in the cam role or free role, so he can go wherever he likes. And then obviously you've got Theo Walcott to challenge any one of them three positions. So I think that could be a big deal for Arsenal if they do pull it through. So now I'm going to move on to Pogba. So this is going to be, you're probably thinking, Pogba, oh my God, shut up about Pogba. Pogba's been in the limelight for ages. Everyone wants him. Barcelona want him. Real Madrid want him. Man City want him. Chelsea want him. It's ridiculous. Every big club in the world wants Pogba. PSG said they wanted him. And Pogba, obviously, because he's 21 years of age, he is an extremely good young talent. He's played extremely well for Juventus. He's scored some great goals, and obviously he is going to be the next big thing, and he's going to be probably the next best centre midfielder in the world. So obviously all the big clubs want to get their hands on him, and I think he'll probably do well to stay at Juventus for another season, and then you can probably look at moving to somewhere like Madrid or Barca. I think it really hurts me to say this, but he probably would suit Barca more than Real Madrid, because I think he'd probably suit there, because Barcelona, he'd probably have more of a free role where he can break forward. And in the Real Madrid squad, who are you going to kick out? Isco? Bale? You just can't kick anyone out, because you can't kick out Isco, you can't kick out Bale, you can't kick out Modric, and you can't kick out Toni Kroos. So there's no room for Pogba at Real Madrid unless they sell out one of these players, which I don't think they will do. So moving on to one of the last ones now, which is Mario Götze. He's been linked to a move to Juventus, and the reason he's been linked there is because Arturo Vidal has been probably going to be offered to Bayern Munich, and Mario Götze will probably be going to Juventus. But yet again, Pep Guardiola has actually denied it and said there is no way he will be leaving, and there's no way we will be letting him go. So we have to wait and see what happens on that note. So the second from last is going to be Angel Di Maria. I think Manchester United will be stupid to let Di Maria go. I think he's a world-class player. He's only young. He's apparently valued at 40 million, so less than what Sterling is, which is absolutely ludicrous, because I think he's a lot better player than what Sterling is. Also, let me know in the comments down below, who would you prefer, Di Maria or Sterling? So if you brought Di Maria, you'd have 9 million in the bank still, or you buy Sterling. Who would you buy? Let me know in the comments down below, as I'll be intrigued to know. And he's actually been linked to a move to PSG, so I think he might actually go as well, because he's not been had a happy spell at Manchester United, and he probably wants to be getting more game time than what he's got. So moving on to the final one, which is Gareth Bale. I don't think there's any chance. There's been lots of talk of him going to Manchester United, because Manchester United obviously got this cash to splash out, but I don't think he will leave Real Madrid. I think he's obviously in Rafa Benitez plans, because Rafa Benitez has clearly said he wants to use him as a number 10 role, which I think Gareth Bale will probably be good in that role, because he'll have a free role, he can roam around and he can play them passes through and break through the midfield with his pace and shot to obviously score a few goals as well. So I don't think Rafa Benitez will let him go. And Gareth Bale, I think he's actually liking it at Real Madrid, so I don't see him coming back to the Premier League anytime soon. So if you did actually enjoy this mini series or whatever you want to call it, please let me know in the comments down below and hit that like button, as it's going to be very much appreciated and it really does help my channel out. And also, if you want me to do any opinions on any signings for your club, if you've got a smaller club and you want me to pretty much read up about a signing that you guys made and you want me to give you my opinion on any players, let me know in the comments down below, as I do my very best to let you guys know and give you my opinion. So thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. Thank you. Bye bye.